In the year 2142, Earth was no longer alone in the universe. Humans had made contact with 3 alien species from the Proxima Centauri system 20 years ago. After years of careful diplomacy, the first interplanetary student exchange program began. The program would place alien students in American high schools and send human students to alien worlds. Noah Carter did not think his life was anything special. He was an ordinary junior at Lincoln Heights Academy in Chicago. He got average grades, played on the school baseball team, and had a small group of good friends. Noah had never thought he would be picked for anything important, so he was shocked when Principal Oakes called him to the office and told him he would be a student ambassador for 3 alien exchange students. "Me? Why me?" Noah asked, his brown eyes wide with surprise. Principal Oakes smiled. "You're reliable, Noah. You don't cause trouble. You get along with everyone. Those are exactly the qualities we need for this program." Now, 2 weeks later, Noah stood in the school hallway watching his 3 alien charges try to open their lockers. It was not going well. Zilix, who came from the aquatic Nelvari species, had 6 tentacle-like arms that kept slipping on the metal lock. Zilix had blue skin that rippled like water when they moved. A special moisture suit kept them from drying out in Earth's air. "Noah, I cannot make this device work," Zilix said, their voice bubbling through the translator device on their neck. "Here, let me show you again," Noah said, walking over to help. Nearby, Truck from the reptilian Sorans was having better luck. Truck looked like a 7-foot-tall lizard with green scales and golden eyes. Sorans were very smart and had good memories. Truck had already memorized the lock combination and was putting books inside the locker. "The gravity on your world makes my scales feel heavy," Truck complained. "And why do humans use so much paper? Digital files are much more efficient." The third alien, Eep, floated near the ceiling. Eep belonged to the gaseous Vapori species and looked like a purple cloud with bright spots that flashed when they spoke. A special containment field kept Eep from spreading out too far. The Vapori didn't need lockers because they didn't carry physical objects. Human school building design is most interesting. Eep's voice came from a small speaker on their containment device. "So many straight lines and right angles. Very different from our curved learning chambers." Noah sighed. It wasn't easy being responsible for 3 aliens who found everything about Earth strange and confusing. But he had to admit that seeing his familiar world through their eyes was sometimes fun. "The bell's about to ring," Noah said. "We need to get to biology class." The 4 of them walked down the hallway, attracting stares from other students. Most humans had only seen aliens on video screens, not in person. Lincoln Heights was one of only 5 schools in America hosting alien students this year. "Why do the other humans stare at us?" Zilix asked. "They're just curious," Noah explained. "Meeting aliens is still new for most people." "On our worlds it would be rude to stare," Truck said, the scales on his neck rising slightly in what Noah had learned was a sign of discomfort. "Humans have different social rules," Noah said. "I'm still learning about your customs, too." They entered the biology classroom where Ms. Winters was writing on the board. She was a young teacher with curly red hair and a kind smile. She had been specially trained to teach the alien students. "Good morning, everyone," Ms. Winters said as the class settled down. "Today we'll continue our unit on Earth's ecosystems, and I have exciting news. We've been approved for a field trip to the Chicago Zoological Park next week." The class erupted in cheers. Even the alien students seemed excited, though Noah guessed they didn't fully understand what a zoo was. "What is a zoological park?" Eep asked, floating closer to Noah's desk. "It's a place where we keep animals from different parts of Earth so people can see them and learn about them," Noah explained. "The animals live in habitats that are like their natural homes." "You capture wild animals for viewing?" Truck asked, sounding surprised. "Not exactly," Noah said. "Most zoo animals were born there. The zoo helps protect endangered species, animals that might die out without help." "Fascinating," Zilix said. "On our world, we have eliminated most dangerous animals through genetic engineering and habitat manipulation." Ms. Winters handed out permission forms for the field trip. "Please have your parents sign these and return them tomorrow. For our exchange students, I've already received approval from your planetary representatives." After class, the four of them sat together at lunch. The aliens had special food prepared for their different biologies. Noah bit into his burger while watching Zilix absorb nutrients from a bowl of blue liquid. "I have been studying Earth's wildlife," Truck said, carefully cutting a piece of specially grown protein that looked like raw meat. "Your planet has remarkable biodiversity. I'm particularly interested in your predator species," Eep added, as small sparks of light moved through their purple cloud form. "The evolutionary adaptations are quite impressive." "Like what?" Noah asked, curious about what the aliens found interesting. "Your lions, tigers, and bears," Zilk said. "Such efficient killing machines. We have nothing like them on our worlds anymore." "Is it true that humans keep miniature versions of predators in their homes as companions?" Truck asked. Noah laughed. "You mean pets, like cats and dogs? Yeah, we domesticated them thousands of years ago. My family has a golden retriever named Buddy." The aliens exchanged glances that Noah couldn't quite interpret. "Your species willingly shares living space with predator descendants?" Eep asked, their cloud form contracting slightly. "Dogs aren't dangerous," Noah said. "They're friendly. You guys can meet Buddy sometime if you want." "That would be educational," Truck said carefully. As lunch ended, Noah's friend Gabriela Martinez joined them. She had dark curly hair and a bright smile. Gabriela was on the student welcome committee and had helped Noah show the aliens around on their first day. "Hey, Noah." "Hi, everyone," she said. "Are you excited about the zoo trip? I go there all the time with my little brother." "The aliens. We're just asking about Earth animals," Noah explained. "Oh, you'll love the zoo then," Gabriela said. "They have this amazing hippo that puts on a show at feeding time, opens its mouth super wide and everything." "Hippo?" Zilix asked. "What is this creature?" "Hippopotamus," Noah explained. "They're big semi-aquatic mammals from Africa. They look slow and peaceful, but they can actually be really dangerous in the wild." "How dangerous?" Truck asked, leaning forward. "They kill more people in Africa than any other large animal," Gabriela said casually. "My brother loves them, though. He has hippo-stuffed animals all over his room." Noah noticed the aliens had gone very quiet. Something about the conversation seemed to bother them, but he couldn't figure out what. Maybe they were just nervous about seeing so many Earth animals at once. "Don't worry about the field trip," Noah said with a reassuring smile. "All the animals are safely behind barriers. Nothing dangerous will happen." Little did Noah know that his words would soon prove very wrong. Not because the animals would be dangerous to them, but because of what the aliens already knew about one specific Earth creature. A creature that would change everything about human-alien relations forever. The bell rang, ending lunch period. "Come on," Noah said, standing up. "We have history class next. We're learning about ancient Egypt today." As they walked to class, Noah noticed the aliens whispering among themselves. He wondered what they found so interesting about Earth animals. It was probably just scientific curiosity, he thought. After all, Earth was as strange to them as their worlds would be to him. He had no idea that in just a few days, a simple field trip would reveal a truth that would change humanity's place in the galaxy forever. The day of the field trip arrived with clear skies and mild weather. Noah woke up early, excited to show the alien students a different side of Earth. He packed extra water bottles for Zilix, knowing the aquatic alien needed more moisture than humans. The yellow hover bus waited outside Lincoln Heights Academy. 20 students climbed aboard, including Noah, Gabriela, and the 3 aliens. Ms. Winters checked names on her tablet as everyone found seats. "Everyone buckle your safety straps," Ms. Winters called out. "It's a 30-minute ride to the zoo." Noah sat with Zilix while Gabriela sat across the aisle with Truck. Eep floated above an empty seat, their containment fields secured to the seat back with special clamps. "I have studied the information about the zoological park," Truck said, holding up a tablet. "It contains over 2,000 animal species from Earth. I am most interested in seeing the primates." Eep's voice came from their speaker. "The evolutionary connection between humans and other primates is fascinating." The hover bus lifted off and glided smoothly through the Chicago morning traffic. Other vehicles moved aside, giving the school bus priority as required by traffic laws. "What are you most excited to see?" Noah asked Zilix. "The aquatic creatures," Zilix replied, their blue skin rippling slightly. "Though your oceans are very different from the seas of my homeworld, our waters are much denser and have different mineral content." "You'll love the dolphin show," Gabriella said. "They're super smart, almost as intelligent as humans in some ways." "Yes, we have analyzed Earth dolphin brain structure," Truck added. "Very impressive neural complexity." Noah noticed the aliens all carried their special tablets disguised to look like standard student devices. He knew they were recording data about Earth for their home planets. That was part of the exchange program, learning about each other's worlds. But sometimes Noah wondered how the aliens really felt about humans and Earth. The hover bus landed in the zoo parking area. Ms. Winters stood at the front as everyone unbuckled. "Remember to stay with your assigned groups," she said. "We'll meet at the conservation center at noon for lunch. Each group has a different starting point to avoid crowding." Noah's group included Gabriella and the 3 aliens. Their starting point was the African Plains exhibit. They scanned their passes at the entrance and followed the path to a large open area, where giraffes, zebras, and antelopes roamed in a habitat designed to look like the African savanna. "This is amazing," Gabriella said, watching a giraffe stretch its long neck to reach leaves on a tall tree. Zilix extended 2 of their tentacle arms to adjust something on their tablet. "The pattern disruption camouflage on those striped creatures is quite similar to the Krellian grassstalkers on Sauron Prime," they said, pointing to the zebras. "You mean the zebras?" Noah asked. "Yeah, the stripes make it harder for predators to pick out individuals when they run in a group." "Efficient evolutionary adaptation," Truck noted, their scales shifting to a lighter green color that Noah had come to recognize as interest. They moved through the African plains and into the rainforest zone, where colorful birds flew freely in a massive enclosed habitat. Monkeys swung from branches and sloths hung lazily from trees. "Earth has such diverse biomes," Eep observed, floating closer to a toucan that seemed unafraid of the purple cloud alien. "The variety of life forms adapted to each environment is impressive." "Wait until you see the great ape's house," Gabriella said. "The chimps are having babies this season." The ape exhibit was crowded with visitors. Through large glass windows, they could see chimpanzees playing, grooming each other, and using simple tools to get food from puzzle boxes placed around their habitat. "They share approximately 98.8% of their DNA with humans," Eep noted, scanning the primates with their tablet. "The genetic similarity is remarkable considering the physiological differences." "Yeah, they're our closest relatives," Noah confirmed, "but they're way stronger than humans, like 5 times stronger pound for pound." The aliens exchanged glances that Noah couldn't quite interpret. Humans deliberately keep stronger primates in containment rather than eliminating the threat? Truck asked carefully. "They're endangered, not threats," Gabriella explained with a frown. "We're trying to protect them from extinction." "So humans serve as guardians for other species?" Zilix asked, their voice bubbling through the translator. "I guess you could say that," Noah replied. "We haven't always been good at it, though. Lots of animals have gone extinct because of humans. We're trying to do better now." This concept seemed to confuse the aliens, but Noah assured them they would understand Earth's conservation ethics better as the day progressed. As they left the great ape's house, Noah checked the zoo map on his phone. "We have time for one more exhibit before we need to head to the conservation center for lunch. The pachyderm house is closest." "What are pachyderms?" Eep asked. "It means thick-skinned animals," Gabriella explained. "Elephants, rhinos, and hippos." At the mention of the last animal, all 3 aliens suddenly stopped walking. Noah almost bumped into Truck, who had gone completely still. "Did you say hippos?" Zilix asked, their blue-tinged skin noticeably paling to a light gray. "Yeah, hippopotamuses," Noah said, puzzled by their reaction. "They're semi-aquatic mammals from Africa. The ones here at the zoo are Nile hippos." The 3 aliens huddled together, frantically whispering in their native languages. They had switched off their universal translators, but Noah could still detect their growing agitation. Truck's scales had turned a pale yellow instead of their usual vibrant green. Eep's gaseous form had contracted to half its normal size. "Is something wrong?" Gabriella asked, looking concerned. We were not informed that Earth contained hippopotamuses," Truck finally said, looking around as if expecting danger. "They're just animals," Noah said with a shrug. "Herbivores? Actually, they mostly eat grass." "Herbivores?" Eep's voice came out higher than usual. "That cannot be accurate." "What's the big deal?" Gabriella asked. "They're behind barriers. They can't hurt you." "You do not understand," Zilk said, all six tentacle arms waving in what Noah now recognized as extreme distress. "We should return to the school immediately." "We can't leave yet," Noah said. "The bus won't be back until 3 o'clock. Besides, we're supposed to meet Ms. Winters for lunch soon." After several minutes of tense discussion, the aliens reluctantly agreed to continue to the pachyderm house, but they insisted on staying near the exit. Noah and Gabriella exchanged confused looks but didn't argue. The pachyderm house was a large building with both indoor and outdoor viewing areas. They entered the air-conditioned interior, where plaques described the different species and their conservation status. Through a massive glass wall, they could see a large pool where a hippopotamus was partially submerged in water, only its eyes, ears, and nostrils visible above the surface. "That's Harriet," Gabriella read from the information sign. "She's 27 years old and weighs over 3,000 pounds. As they watched, the hippo began to rise from the water. Its enormous body emerged slowly, water cascading off its grayish skin as it climbed onto the shore of its enclosure. Then it opened its mouth in a wide yawn, displaying its massive teeth. Noah heard a strange sound and turned to see all three aliens had backed up against the far wall. Truck was making a high-pitched keening noise. Zilx's skin had gone almost white. Eep had contracted into such a small cloud that their containment field looked nearly empty. "The ancient terror," Zilx whispered. "It is real, just as the legends described." Noah and Gabriella stared at their alien friends in complete confusion. Whatever was happening, it was clear that the sight of a simple hippopotamus had absolutely terrified three beings from advanced alien civilizations, and Noah had no idea why. Noah looked back and forth between the hippopotamus and his terrified alien friends. The huge animal yawned again, showing its massive teeth, then settled back into the water with barely a splash. Children nearby pressed their faces against the glass, pointing and smiling. Nobody else seemed scared at all. "I don't understand," Noah said quietly. "What legends? Why are you all so afraid?" Truck's scales had paled to a sickly yellow color. "We need to leave this place immediately." Gabriella stepped closer to the aliens. "You guys look really upset. Should I get Ms. Winters?" "No," all three aliens said at once. Zilx's tentacle arms were trembling. "We should find a secure location to explain. Not here, not in front of that creature." They quickly left the pachyderm house and found a quiet bench near the butterfly garden. Few people were there, giving them privacy to talk. The aliens still looked shaken, constantly glancing back toward the building they had fled. "Okay, we're away from the hippo," Noah said. "Now can you please explain what's going on?" The aliens looked at each other, seemingly deciding who would speak. Finally, Truck nodded and turned to the humans. "Approximately 50,000 of your Earth years ago, a spacecraft from a coalition of our ancestor species crashed on your planet in the region you call Africa," Truck explained, voice low and serious. Noah and Gabriella exchanged surprised looks. This was not what they had expected to hear. "Wait, aliens visited Earth 50,000 years ago?" Gabriella asked. "That's not in any of our history books." "It was not a visit," Eep clarified. Their purple form still contracted smaller than usual. "It was an exploratory mission that ended in disaster. Only one transmission was sent before all contact was lost." "What happened to them?" Noah asked. Zilix's skin rippled in distress. The transmission contained only visual data of the attacking creatures and one word in the universal emergency frequency. What word? Gabriella leaned forward. In your language, the closest pronunciation would be hippopotamus, Zilix said, their voice dropping to a whisper at the final word. Noah tried not to laugh. He could tell the aliens were genuinely frightened, but it seemed so strange to be terrified of hippos. That's why you went pale? Because of hippos? You do not understand, Truck said firmly. Our historical records indicate that the expedition was armed with what you would consider advanced weaponry, yet they were overwhelmed in minutes. But hippos are just animals, Gabriella said. I mean, yes, they're dangerous in the wild, but they're not monsters. Dangerous? Eep's voice rose sharply. They are death incarnate. Our most ancient stories warn of the wide-mouthed ones who guard the blue waters of the Death Planet. Death Planet? Noah repeated. You mean Earth? That was one name for your world, Zilx confirmed. For 50 millennia, it was considered forbidden to approach your solar system. Only after developing much more advanced technology did our civilizations dare to make contact with humans. And you never told us about this previous mission? Gabriella asked. It was considered a shameful failure, Truck explained, and many believed it was merely a legend, not actual history. Space is vast and dangerous. Many early exploration missions were lost without explanation. Noah took out his phone and searched for information about hippopotamuses. He showed the screen to the aliens. Look, hippos can be aggressive and territorial. They kill about 500 people a year in Africa. But they're not some kind of super predator. They're herbivores. They eat plants. 500 humans each year? Truck's scales fluttered in shock. And your species has not eliminated this threat? We try to avoid them in the wild, Gabriella explained. Most people who get killed are in small boats that get too close to hippos in rivers, or they accidentally get between a mother hippo and her baby, Noah added. They're protective of their young. The aliens were quiet for a moment, processing this information. In all our worlds, dangerous predators were eliminated or controlled. Thousands of years ago, Zilx finally said. The idea of simply living alongside such creatures is unthinkable. But you've seen tigers and bears today too, Noah pointed out. They're dangerous predators. Why aren't you scared of them? Our records did not identify those creatures specifically, Eep explained. But this hippopotamus matches exactly the image sent in the final transmission. The massive body, the huge mouth, the teeth designed for crushing. Their teeth aren't for crushing prey, Noah said, reading from his phone. They're mainly for fighting other hippos. They use them to establish dominance. That aligns with the behavior we observed, Truck said thoughtfully. The expedition logs described the creatures rising from the water and displaying their weapons before attacking. They were probably just yawning or showing a threat display, Gabriella suggested. Hippos are territorial. If the spacecraft landed near their water source, they might have felt threatened. The aliens seemed to be calming down slightly, though. They still looked nervous. Noah checked the time on his phone. We need to head to the conservation center for lunch, he said. Ms. Winters will wonder where we are. Must we return to the school with the same transportation? Zilix asked. The hover bus will pass directly over the hippopotamus enclosure. Noah tried not to smile. The hippos can't jump up and get us. They're really heavy and can't leap very high. Are you certain? Eep asked, sounding genuinely worried. Positive, Gabriella assured them. Plus, the bus has reinforced hull plating. It's designed to be safe even in extreme weather. This seemed to reassure the aliens a little. They walked together toward the conservation center, but Noah noticed they took a route that gave the pachyderm house a wide berth. At lunch, the aliens sat huddled together, still recovering from their shock. They whispered among themselves, occasionally glancing at Noah and Gabriella. Ms. Winters noticed something was wrong and came to their table. Is everything all right? She asked. You all seem upset. Noah thought quickly. The aliens were just surprised by some of Earth's animals. They don't have anything like hippos on their worlds. Ms. Winters smiled. That's understandable. Earth has amazing biodiversity compared to many planets. That's why this exchange program is so valuable. We all have so much to learn from each other. After she walked away, Truck leaned closer to Noah. We must contact our homeworlds immediately. After returning to school, this information about the hippopotamuses must be shared, and about humans, Zilks added quietly. What about humans? Noah asked. Your species evolved on the same planet as these beasts, Zilks explained. You share the same waters, the same lands. Yet you not only survived but became the dominant species. I guess we did, Gabriella said. I never really thought about it that way. This explains much about human resilience. Eep's voice was thoughtful. Any species that could evolve alongside hippopotamuses and survive must possess qualities we had not previously considered. Noah hadn't expected the day to turn out like this. What had started as a simple field trip had turned into a major revelation for their alien visitors. Somehow, ordinary hippos, animals that human children loved to watch at the zoo, had completely changed how the aliens viewed Earth and humanity. And Noah suspected this was just the beginning of the surprises that would come from this unusual cultural exchange. The next day at school, things were different. News about the hippopotamus incident had spread quickly among the alien students. The 6 other exchange aliens from different schools in Chicago had all requested emergency meetings with their Earth advisors. Teachers noticed the aliens watching human students with new, careful attention. Noah arrived at school to find Principal Oaks waiting for him by his locker. Noah, could you come to my office, please? Principal Oaks asked. His face looked serious. There's something important we need to discuss. Noah nodded and followed Principal Oaks down the hallway. He wondered if he was in trouble for what happened at the zoo. Maybe taking the aliens to see the hippos had caused some kind of diplomatic problem. In the principal's office, Noah was surprised to see a tall, important-looking alien waiting for them. This alien was different from any Noah had met before. It had silvery skin and 4 arms. It wore a formal uniform with strange symbols that Noah guessed were some kind of rank or title. Noah, this is Ambassador Voran from the Galactic Educational Committee, Principal Oaks said. The ambassador wants to ask you some questions about yesterday's field trip. Noah sat down nervously. Am I in trouble? Ambassador Voran made a gesture that might have been a smile. Not at all, young human. I simply wish to understand what happened with our students. Noah explained everything, how they had visited different animals at the zoo, how the aliens had reacted with terror to the hippopotamus, and what they had told him about the ancient expedition to Earth. Ambassador Voran listened carefully, occasionally making notes on a small device. And you say humans consider these hippopotamuses to be merely ordinary animals, not weapons or engineered life forms? They're just animals, Noah confirmed. Dangerous in the wild, yes, but just normal animals that evolved here on Earth. Fascinating, Ambassador Voran said. And humans regularly bring their young to observe these creatures for entertainment? For education, Noah explained. To learn about wildlife and nature, kids love going to the zoo. Ambassador Voran turned to Principal Oaks. We need to understand why humans did not disclose the presence of these hippopotamuses in your initial contact package. I honestly had no idea they were significant, Principal Oaks replied, looking confused. They're just one of thousands of animal species on Earth. Just animals? Ambassador Voran's 4 arms made complex gestures showing disbelief. These creatures kill approximately 500 humans in Africa annually, despite your advanced technology. Well, yes, Noah acknowledged. They're territorial and can be aggressive, but we've learned to coexist with them. They're an important part of their ecosystem. Ambassador Voran studied Noah carefully. Your species evolved on the same planet as these beasts and dozens of other predators that would have eradicated our ancestors. Yet you not only survived, but thrived. Noah hadn't considered it that way before. I guess humans are pretty adaptable. We learn to use tools, work together, outsmart predators rather than outfight them. The implications are unsettling, Ambassador Voran admitted. If human baseline evolution occurred in such a hostile environment, it explains certain resilient qualities we've observed. After the meeting, Noah was excused from his morning classes. As he walked through the hallway, he noticed other students looking at him with curiosity. Word had obviously spread that something unusual was happening with the exchange program. Noah found his alien classmates in the library. They were reviewing video footage of hippopotamuses attacking boats in African rivers on their tablets. They looked up when Noah approached. "Noah, we did not expect to see you until afternoon classes," Zilk said, quickly putting down the tablet. "I just had a meeting with some ambassador," Noah explained, sitting down at their table. He had a lot of questions about hippos. "Ambassador, Voran is here?" Truck's scales rippled in surprise. "The educational committee must consider this matter very serious." "I don't get why you're still so freaked out," Noah said. "They're just animals safely contained in the zoo." "It's not just the hippopotamuses anymore," Zilix explained. "We've been researching other Earth creatures. Honey badgers, box jellyfish, Brazilian wandering spiders, saltwater crocodiles. And yet humans dominate this planet," Truck added, looking at Noah with new respect. "Your species didn't genetically modify these threats out of existence or eradicate them. You simply adapted and overcame. Our threat assessment of humanity was catastrophically underestimated," Eep concluded, their purple form expanding and contracting rapidly. "Any species that considers a hippopotamus just another herbivore must possess psychological resilience our kinds cannot comprehend." Noah couldn't help laughing. "So, you're saying humans are scary because we're not scared enough of dangerous animals?" "It is not humorous," Truck said seriously. "Consider this perspective. Our ancestors evolved on worlds where the most dangerous predators were approximately the size of what you call a house cat and could be defeated by throwing small rocks. Our civilizations had millions of years of peaceful evolution," Zilix added. "Yours had constant survival pressure from creatures like those hippopotamuses." Noah was starting to understand. "So it's kind of like if I grew up in a safe neighborhood with no crime, then suddenly met someone who grew up fighting for survival every day?" "An imperfect analogy, but close enough," Eep confirmed. "The psychological and physiological implications are significant." Just then, Gabriella joined them. "There you are, Noah. Everyone's talking about you and the aliens. What's going on?" Before Noah could answer, the library door opened, and Principal Oaks entered with Ambassador Voran and several human teachers. They approached Noah's table. "Students, I have an announcement," Principal Oaks said. "Due to recent revelations, the exchange program is being temporarily modified. Starting tomorrow, a delegation of alien scientists will be visiting our school to learn more about Earth's wildlife and human adaptation strategies." Ambassador Voran stepped forward. "We wish to understand how humans coped with evolving in such an extreme environment. This knowledge could be valuable for all our species." "Extreme environment?" Gabriella whispered to Noah. "They mean Earth?" Noah nodded slowly, finally understanding. What seemed completely normal to humans, living on a planet with dangerous animals, was apparently extraordinary to these advanced alien civilizations. "Noah Carter and Gabriela Martinez," Ambassador Voran continued, "as the first humans to identify this significant cultural misunderstanding, you will be asked to assist with the scientific delegation. Your class schedules will be adjusted accordingly." After the adults left, Gabriella turned to Noah with wide eyes. "Did we just become alien ambassadors because we know about hippos?" "I think we did," Noah replied, still processing the strange turn of events. "Our homeworlds are reconsidering many assumptions about humans," Truck explained. "The fact that your young children consider hippopotamuses to be cute is causing particular concern among our military analysts." Noah laughed again, but this time he understood why the aliens weren't laughing with him. From their perspective, humans had evolved on a death world filled with monsters and had somehow become the dominant species despite it all. He realized that this simple field trip to the zoo had forever changed how aliens would view humanity. 3 weeks passed quickly. Lincoln Heights Academy had changed dramatically. 12 alien scientists now roamed the halls, observing classes and interviewing students. They wore special badges that translated their words instantly and recorded everything they saw. The cafeteria had a new section with foods from different alien worlds. Most exciting of all, a real alien spaceship sat on the football field, drawing crowds of curious onlookers from all over Chicago. Noah and Gabriella had become minor celebrities. News channels had interviewed them about the Hippo incident, as everyone now called it. Their social media accounts had thousands of new followers. But most importantly, they had become official human liaison officers to the alien delegation. They even got to skip math class. Today, they sat in a special meeting room that had been set up in the school gymnasium. Around them were alien scientists, Earth biologists, and government officials from several countries. At the front of the room, Ambassador Varan was making an announcement. After extensive research and discussion, the Galactic Council has reached a decision. Ambassador Varan said, Earth will be reclassified from Category C, Standard Life-Bearing World, to Category A, Extreme Environment Evolution Zone. The aliens in the room made sounds of agreement. The humans looked confused. What does that mean? Gabriella whispered to Zilex, who was sitting beside her. It means your planet is now recognized as having produced a species of exceptional durability and adaptive capability, Zilex explained quietly. Only 3 other known sentient species evolved in Category A conditions. And they're all members of the Galactic Security Council, Truck added from Noah's other side. Noah tried not to laugh. All this because humans weren't terrified of hippos? It seemed so strange. Ambassador Varan continued speaking. This reclassification has several important implications. First, the exchange program will be expanded. More human students will be invited to visit our worlds, and more of our young will experience Earth's unique environment. A human official raised her hand. Will there be safety concerns for alien students on Earth given this extreme environment? Classification. We have developed new protocols, Ambassador Varan replied. All alien students will receive special training before arrival, and certain areas, such as wildlife preserves containing hippopotamuses, will be designated as restricted zones. Noah glanced at Gabriella and they both suppressed smiles. Second, Ambassador Varan continued, several defensive alliances have already requested Earth's participation. The Orion Collective specifically asked for human tactical advisors. This caused excited murmuring among the human officials. Noah knew why. Earth had been trying to join these alliances for years without success. Finally, the Galactic Council is expediting Earth's membership application. Previously, it was estimated to take another century before humans would be considered for even probationary status. The room erupted in applause. This was huge news. Full membership in the Galactic Council meant access to advanced technologies, trade routes, and protection agreements that Earth had been negotiating for since first contact. After the meeting, Noah and Gabriella walked with their alien friends through the school hallway. I still can't believe all this happened because of hippos, Noah said, shaking his head. It was not just the hippopotamuses, Eep explained, floating alongside them. It was what they revealed about human psychology. Our military analysts reviewed the zoo footage, Truck added. They calculated that a hippopotamus could destroy our standard infantry units with ease. Yet human children were watching them with ice cream cones, expressing how cute they looked. The psychologists suggest this indicates a unique human quality, Zilks continued, the ability to recognize danger without being paralyzed by fear of it. Gabriella laughed. So we're getting fast-tracked into the Galactic Council because we think deadly animals are cute? Not exactly, came a voice from behind them. They turned to see Dr. Kren, the lead alien scientist, approaching. Dr. Kren was from a crystalline species and sparkled under the hallway lights. It is your species. Remarkable adaptability, Dr. Kren explained. Most sentient species evolve in relatively safe environments. Their greatest threats come from weather, resource competition, or each other. But humans evolved among predators that would constitute extinction-level threats on our worlds. Consider this, Dr. Kren continued. On Earth, even your herbivores are dangerous. Your plant eaters have trampled, gored, and drowned your kind for millennia. Your oceans contain venomous creatures that can kill with a touch. Your forests harbor insects that carry deadly diseases. Yet you built civilizations despite all this. I guess when you put it that way, Earth does sound pretty scary, Noah admitted. Precisely, Dr. Kren said, and this explains much about human behavior that puzzled us before. Your remarkable stress tolerance, your ability to adapt to new situations, your species' tendency to explore dangerous environments. These are traits forged by evolving on a world that was constantly trying to kill you. They reached the classroom where Noah and Gabriella were supposed to give a presentation about Earth sports to the alien delegation. I still think it's funny that hippos scared you so much, Gabriella said to Truck. Wait until you learn about Australia. Australia? Truck's scales shifted to a curious blue color. What is significant about this region? Noah and Gabriella exchanged mischievous glances. Oh, nothing much, Noah said innocently. Just some of the most venomous creatures on the planet living in one place. Spiders, snakes, jellyfish. Even the cute little platypus is venomous. Dr. Kren's crystalline form pulsed in alarm. This information was not in our briefing materials. I must inform the research team immediately. As Dr. Kren hurried away, the friends burst into laughter. Later that evening, Noah sat on his roof, looking up at the stars. Somewhere up there, advanced civilizations were reevaluating their understanding of humanity, based on something as simple as their reaction to hippopotamuses. His phone buzzed with a message from Gabriella. Just saw the news. Did you know they're expanding the exchange program? Now they want to bring alien military cadets to train with human instructors. Noah smiled and texted back, maybe we should take them to Australia next. Wait until they hear about the platypus. He glanced up at the night sky once more. The stars seemed different now, knowing what was out there. He thought about all the alien worlds, each with their own life and history. And he thought about Earth, his home that he had always taken for granted but was now seen as special by beings from across the galaxy. It was strange to think that hippopotamuses had changed humanity's place in the universe, but Noah was excited to see what would happen next. The galaxy was opening up to humans faster than anyone had expected, all because of an ordinary field trip to the zoo. As Noah climbed back through his bedroom window, he couldn't help but smile. Who knew that the answer to, "Why did my alien classmates go pale?" would turn out to be so important? The hippopotamus had inadvertently become humanity's greatest ambassador, revealing the unique resilience that would define Earth's role in the galactic community for generations to come. The end.